let's jump into it. So we are going to start with a quick testimonial. We do have a new one, which I love to see. So Ashley Fink, who signed her up? Drew, was this a you close?
I think this is me.
Joey? Awesome.
I recognize that. Like, the name looks, I don't know, anyway, she looks familiar.
I don't know who signed her up, but she's got a
Hey everyone, my name's Ashley and I'm thrilled to share my NLCA journey with you, as I really hope it inspires you to take the leap. Before NLCA, I spent 11 years in the corporate world working as a fraud and data analyst. Very long story short, while searching for new opportunities, I decided it was the right time to pursue my passion for fitness and nutrition, so I decided to get certified. Less than a week into my certification, and with my husband's full support, I quit my job and decided to strictly focus on my future as a potential coach while pursuing other jobs in the corporate world. Well, exactly 1 week after I quit my job, I scheduled a consultation with NLCA. I had known about them for years, and I finally had an excuse to see what they were all about. And on the call, I took a leap of faith. I decided to turn down 3 potential corporate opportunities and fully bet on myself. In less than 2 weeks with NLCA, we obtained our LLC, we launched the business, and started taking clients. It was the quickest and scariest month of my life, but I have never felt more alive and fulfilled. NLCA's knowledge and tools have truly been invaluable. From setting up systems to lead generation and marketing, I know I'm learning from the best in the industry. Embracing messy action has by far been my biggest takeaway. As a perfectionist, I used to hesitate, but now I prioritize taking action and embrace progress over perfection. So if you're unsure about joining NLCA, just trust me, it's the best decision you'll make for your coaching career. The guidance, support, and resources they provide are just unmatched. So don't hesitate, embrace messy action, bet on yourself, and join the incredible NLCA community. I promise you won't regret it.
I like that one. Simple, sweet, to the point. Ashley is on a lot of calls. I see her like constantly on the like the boards for attendance, which is great. She was not a Joey close, right? Joe's close. Got it.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, let's jump into it. Sarah, I'm passing it over to you. I know you have a shout out for Sarah.
Yes. Yesterday we had a triage brainstorm and didn't realize that we were working at the same time in both IGs. So Sarah was able to jump on, and I don't even think she was working at all yesterday. So she just jumped on to cover. Very mission first.
Yes, definitely appreciate that. We had a meeting to kind of like beef up our triage process, which once that officially rolls out, closures, I'll update y'all, but we're beefing it up a little bit, turning it more into an objection handling call. Going to be a little bit more in depth. So we spent a lot of time on that call, and I appreciate Sarah for stepping in. We had both lead Sarah and Laura who were on in the IGs at the same time as the meeting, and it got a little crazy. So Sarah, thank you for popping in and letting us beef that up. Beautiful. Trading IO. Just a reminder for peer review this week, closers, Joey, you're going to watch a Tiffany recording. Tiffany watch a Joey's recording. Jeremy, Drew, swapping recordings. Payment plan check-in, closers, how are we doing here? I know we have one, but anybody else that might take us up on our in-house financing? Jeremy? Who you got? A couple people?
Amanda Oberhaus is gonna close on Friday, so she was talking things over with her husband, and they want to go with the least amount down, which would be spreading that out over the 12 months at the 730.
Cool, love that. Joey, Drew, anybody else you guys have?
Not currently.
Not currently. Okay, no worries. Drew, I know you stepped away. I don't know if you're back yet, but I'll check in with you and Jessica Treviso and see if we're close with her. New DMer. So I know we updated on y'all already. We're actively running interviews for a part-time DMer. If y'all know anybody who would love to work about a 20 to 30 hour work week, we do want somebody who's a little bit more flexible. We need obviously nights, weekends, days. It's going to kind of be a little bit random depending on our availability needs. But if somebody is in your wheelhouse that you have that might want a 20 to 30 hour work week in our DM team, let us know. If you refer them, we hire them. That's $400 in your pocket. So send them our way. We would like to get this wrapped up ASAP. So if you know anybody, send them to NLCA. Questions so far? Beautiful. Perfect. All right, let's jump into some IOs. So DMers, we are only going to roll out 2 of the 4 today. So today we're going to roll out the pitch IO and the DMer training IO. The downsell IO, I'm hoping we can train on by Friday, finalizing some of the back-end stuff there. And then we have a re-sign IO that's going to bring in a little bit more closer client relationship that will probably be rolled out on Monday. So that being said, the pitch IO. So obviously with closers, we track pitch pretty closely. We know how many, calls you pitch each day. That's something we've been tracking, but it's not something we really put a parameter around of like, how many pitches do we need to actually close a certain amount of calls? DMers, we ask you all day long, how many pitches are out? How many pitches are out? How many pitches do we have out? I'm sure you guys are blue in the face by telling us all day. So that being said, we are going to start to track that metric a little bit closer. This is going to be a very simple IO. It's only going to take us tracking. So super, super simple. What we found on average, and obviously some days we have fantastic closing days, some days we have, poorer closing days, and the same thing with booking volume. But on average, we need to pitch about 5 calls to close 2. We have a 4 calls closed a day. We need to pitch 10 a day. That means as a team, we need to pitch 10 people. So we need at least 10 people to show each day. So it kind of works, reverse engineering, we need about 10 people to show, which probably means we need about 15 people on the schedule each day across the board, so on and so forth. So that being said, closers, we're just going to keep a closer eye on this calls pitch. So you'll notice in your middays moving forward, we'll just have how many pitches do we have? And you can just say, I've had 3 calls, I pitched 3, yada, yada. Super simple, just adding in 3 calls showed, pitched all of them. Just a super simple tweak to the midday. We already track that data on the back end. It's already a bullet point that Kimmy tracks is how many actual pitches we have out per day, per month, per week. So there's not a ton that's going to change with the closers. Now, DMers, a little bit more intense here. So we need to pitch an average of 11 leads to book 7.33. Sometimes we pitch more and we book less. Sometimes we pitch less and we book all of them, so on average, we need 11 leads pitched to book 7.33 calls. With our goal being 14, we need to pitch 22 leads per day. Now, obviously we have leads that come through from old pitches and follow-ups, but to kind of hit the cadence that we need, ideally we're pitching around 22 leads. So the only tweak that's going to happen in the DMR side, well, a couple things. We are going to track this a little bit closely. You guys already know that on the social media tracker, there is a pitch column. So we're going to continue adding to that. So at the end of your shift, just going in and updating the number of pitches you had on your shift. At the end of the day, Sarah will take that number and add it to our messenger KPIs for the week. So we can kind of keep track of like, all right, this week we've gotten X amount of pitches, we booked X amount of calls. We can track that data a little bit closer just in case these numbers start to change. DM team, what this means for you is we are going to create a leaderboard. And I don't really have it on here as like an example because we haven't done it yet, but I'll put a picture in here once we do. But the closers, for example, have a leaderboard where we track the number of collected revenue and contracted revenue on a day-to-day basis. And every time somebody closes, they add that number in the closing chat so we can kind of see where we're at towards that goal. So DMers, we are going to add a leaderboard per se in the DMer chat. And it's going to be, similar to the bookings, 0 out of 22 pitches. Every time you pitch someone, you're just going to drop a note in that says like 1 out of 22. 2 out of 22. And we're just going to add to that throughout the day. So every time you guys pitch somebody, you're just going to drop it in the chat, in the DMer chat that you've gotten another pitch. And we're just going to kind of keep a tally on that. Just keep some energy around just tracking those pitches a little bit closer. Nothing too crazy. Shouldn't take you a ton of time. The pitch IO is very simple. We're just going to put a little bit more tracking on the actual number of pitches as opposed to just for closers who showed who closed, DMers, how many bookings, right? Well, just another tracking parameter. Does that all make sense? Super, super simple. This isn't going to be anything crazy. Closers, you're just going to see midday. I'm going to ask how many pitches you've pitched so far. DMers, you'll have a leaderboard that you'll add to throughout your shift as you pitch more bookings. Cool.
Cool.
Triage pitches will count in that leaderboard because if they show up to a call, they're going to get booked. And then they wouldn't have been counted outside of that. So even triage pitches, we are going to add to that 22. Cool. Sarah, Aubrey, Sarah, questions? Beautiful. Sweet. Easy peasy. I'm going to hold off on the DMer training one. DMers, we're going to go through that in your breakout groups because the closers will be very bored listening to the training IO that you guys have. So just so y'all know, we will go through that on our breakout groups. Downsell, we're going to go over on Friday. Jeremy, Joey, just if you guys are wanting, I'm going to add Drew and Tiffany to a group chat with a couple of the coaches who want to potentially run a call. If everybody wants to run a call, by all means, we can, and we can rotate. So that way it's like 1 call a month or 1 call every other month if you all want to run calls. But essentially the downsell part of it is going to be that students will get 1 group call each week, and each week it will be a different theme. So 1 week will be marketing, 1 week will be client delivery. Those will be ran by coaches. 1 week Q&A, 1 week sales. Obviously the sales and the Q&A will be run by the closers. So if y'all want to run a call once a month, once every other month, let me know. I'll add you to that chat. We will figure out the days and times. questions? Beautiful. Sweet. Awesome. Reset we'll go over on Monday. I'm going to kind of leave that one because it's a big one. So we'll go over that on Monday. Now, vacation, yay, slash, oh no. I'm going on vacation next week. So I will be gone Friday the 4th through the following Saturday the 13th. I'll be back, Sunday. I'll be back on Monday the 14th. Now, I am going to be working both of my travel days. So Friday I'll be working, but I'll be on a plane. So I won't be able to like do a lot of voice memos or Zoom calls, but I will still be active in the chats, doing like the data, keeping up with the bookings, all of that stuff. Same thing for that following Saturday when I'm flying back. I'll be working that day, but it'll be more so data stuff. So DM team, what this means for you is I will not be taking calls either of those Saturdays. I'll be flying both of those days. It will be crazy. So both of those Saturdays I'll be off, but Tiffany works on Saturdays. So you'll have her books. And then the time zone difference is pretty big. I'll be in Greece. I'll be 8 hours ahead of CST. So if you do need me, it may be a minute before I get back to you, especially if you ping me at like 4 or 5 p.m. It's probably going to be, midnight, 1 a.m. for me. Not to say that I may not be awake, but just to know you guys do need me, ping me, of course. But it may just take me some time to get back to you. So just patience. Joey and Sarah will be your main points of contact that week. Joey already knows he's going to be available that week. He'll be your main point of contact for Tiffany, for you, especially like call shadows, questions, reviews. Joey is set up for recordings. Sarah will be the main point of contact in the DM department. And then you guys will have Chad and Paige as well. So just as a heads up, not 100% sure where those calls are going to take place. It depends on if Chad wants to host those calls. If not, it'll likely be on either Sarah or Joey's Zoom for those Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Cool. Sweet. Any questions? Ping me if you need me, but again, I'm gonna be on vacation, so it might take me a little bit to get back to you because I'll be across the world.
Jess needs time off, people. Jess needs a vacation.
No, ping me. But I'll be like more so Joey's time zone, so I might be a little off the grid in the evening hours. Beautiful. Cool. Awesome. All right, y'all. Let's jump into it. So data. Big focus. Right now, 164 calls booked for the month, 157 from DMs, and we had 7 from intakes. We've had 167 occur, 45% turnaround time. So we are seeing an increase here, which is fantastic. Monday was a little rocky, obviously, and in the last week, this week is obviously going a little bit better. So 24-hour turnaround time is moving back in the right direction. We obviously want to end that above that 50%, but you'll see for the week, we're doing pretty good. As far as calls occurred, we have, show up, 59% show up rate, which is great. Offers made, 97 out of the 99. So we pitched essentially 98%. 0 self-cancels. We've had 77 people asked to cancel or reschedule. We got 50 back on the books for a 65% reschedule rate for the month. We'll get to it for the week here. Calls closed, 32 for the month. We are projected 39. We are at a 32% closing rate. We will talk about that here in a second. For the week, 17 calls booked, 17 from DMs, no intakes currently. 13 calls have occurred for a 76% 24-hour turnaround time. So really good start to the week for 24-hour turnaround time. Obviously, last week we're in the 40s. So happy to see that jump up. Typically, that does positively impact show. 8 calls. 8 out of 13 have shown for a 61.5% show rate. We pitched 6. 75% pitch rate. So keep an eye on that, closers. I know the numbers are down. So I think we missed 2 people. Just keep an eye on that. We definitely want to make sure we're pitching everybody that we can. Self-cancel 0. 6 people have asked to cancel or reschedule. We got 2 back on the books. So big focus here. And then no new closes yet this week. It is Wednesday. We are struggling. The only close we've had this week so far was yesterday, and that was a re-sign close. So we definitely need to buckle down here for sure. Reschedule rate is a big one too. This is team effort. This is closers. This is DMers. So if you guys do have people that ask to cancel or reschedule, let's do our due diligence to get them back on a time. DM team obviously being diligent that their time definitely works. Joey got one today, but this is just data through yesterday. So we'll update this as we go. But that being said, we are now on pace for 39 closes for the month, and we went from 35 to 32 just in these last couple of days as far as closing percent goes. Now 39. We need 55 to be in our 30% margins, where we need to be company-wide to be good with our profits and our expenses. So huge focus here. Obviously, this starts from the top down. We can't book calls if there's no leads booked. So we need to book more calls, right? Obviously, yesterday was a better day. I'm anticipating us kind of having a better week overall once we fixed the issue with ads. Closers though, I'm gonna lean on you. I'm gonna challenge you. You all are fucking awesome. We can all do more. We have to do more. We have to end this week on a better note than this. Joey started off great today. That's awesome. Love that. We have to hit 4 a day for the rest of the month for us to hit that 55. We only got a week, but we can do that. So dig deep, challenge your prospects appropriately, challenge them, go through the loops, make sure you're doing your hot list, your general list. We're reaching out, we're creating opportunities, we're really buckling down and getting people locked in. We have to see us get to that 50 range for sure. For sure. Cool. DM team, calling on y'all. Volume. Obviously Monday was rough. Yesterday was a lot better. We got to keep seeing that continue over the week. Okay. We can't close what's not there. Closers just means we got to lock down what we can. Okay. Full team effort. Questions? Cool.
Yes. The pitches, so the lack of pitches, I'd like a bit of clarity. So for me, I had one that I didn't pitch because she was like super ill. She was super sick on the call. She could only make about 20, 30 minutes. But I know there's been a lot of that haven't moved. Is it that like we're running out of time on the calls? Is there anything that we're seeing ahead of the calls that maybe is causing them to get on the call late? Or is there anything that maybe we can work on, or anything that you guys are seeing specifically?
So I'm not as concerned right now about pitch because we've only not pitched 2 for the month. Did you see like there's 99 people that showed? We pitched 97. The 2 were this week. So the one you said your person was sick. I think the other one, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, was maybe yours and it was a time frame one. Did we talk about that yesterday?
I've seen 2 or 3 others as well.
I had 2 yesterday. One of them, the call started late. The other one, it took them 15 minutes to get on Zoom.
Okay. Seems
So,
like
but they're both going to be one is today, one's tomorrow. So they're both going to be counted by tomorrow.
Awesome.
The thing I think to note, closers, is obviously just keep us aware. Are we not pitching because of quality, or are we not pitching because of time? If it's time, we can fix that. If it's quality, we can fix that too. But there's 2 different kind of challenges that we might see if we're not pitching. So just keep a closer eye on this. We definitely want to make sure that this week we don't dip anymore. Obviously, Drew, you said both of yours are going to count today and tomorrow. So hopefully we see that come back up. But just let us know too when because we are tracking pitch a little bit more. Is it we didn't pitch this person because they weren't a good lead, or we didn't pitch this person because we ran out of time for whatever reason? Just clarity around that in your EODs would be super helpful for sure. Beautiful. Joey, any other questions? Sarah, any questions? Perfect. Sweet. All right, we're going to jump into breakout groups. I want to get as much time as possible with the DM team since we are going to go over a lot of training. Closers, I'm not going to be with y'all today. Rep it out. Objection handling, whatever Joey's got planned. I don't know if you have some re-off or follow-up stuff or if that's Friday, but rep it out. Get as much in as you can. Beautiful. Any questions, anybody, before we jump into breakouts? Sweet. Let's do it. DMers, I'm with y'all.
I didn't get breakouts set up. I can't do it from my phone, or I don't have access.
I gave you both screen share. Let me I'll set them up. Could be from your phone. I know it's harder on your phone. All right, hang tight, y'all. Aubrey, Sarah. Not a lot of DMers on. So Sarah, you and I will have to powwow with the team, make sure they all watch this recording. All right, see y'all in a second. Oh, did I put her in the wrong room? No, she's just not here yet. Okay. I was like, oh, shoot. What's going on? Thanks for coming today. Here we go. Sarah, what's happening? Other Sarah, Aubrey. All right. So DM team who is not here, please, if you have questions, ask the questions, send them in the chat to me or Sarah. We can help you out. The DMer training IO essentially is going to be our version of the closer training IO. The reason we're doing this, and I'll kind of share my screen, we'll just jump right into it. But the reason we are having a training IO for the DM team is because it worked really well and is working really well with the closing team. Our goal with the training IOs is that performance improves for everyone because you're improving your skill set. So for the closer training IO, we increased closing percent on average from Q1 to Q2 between 5 to 10% per closer. Drew saw a 10% increase in average closing rate from Q1 to Q2. Jeremy and Joey both saw a 5% increase in average closing rate from Q1 to Q2 with the implementation of training. So this is for y'all. Yes, there's going to be some things that we have to do to work on our skills, but it's not meant to be super time consuming. It's not meant to be busy work. This is all things that we want and believe are going to help y'all just improve your skills, right? Better call booking per hour, better call booking to call close means we change more lives, we make more money, the business is better overall. So win-win for everybody is the plan. All right, let's jump into it. So goal here again, my theory, and we'll test this over the next quarter, is if we have a specific plan in place, call booking per hour will increase by an average of 10% and improve by 5%. So this is individual, right? So let's say you have an average call booking per hour of 0.17. The theory is that by the end of the third quarter, you'll be at a 0.27 average. And then if your average call book to call close is 0.21, it'll be 0.26 by the end of that. Now, call book to call close, I kept at about 5% because there's other variables to this, right? Lead quality, show rates, closing skill is all going to be dependent on this as well. But we do track it for the closers too, and there's things that will impact their closing rate too. So, any questions so far? Sarah, I don't know if you're able to turn your camera on at all. I don't know what you're doing, but if you can, definitely pop in for us. Now, how this is going to go, we are going to have a combination of self-review, peer review, shadowing, things of that nature to, help us expand our horizons. How this is going to work, you guys are going to have a progress board. I have a progress board SOP we'll go over to on how to update that in just a second. You all got invited last night, so I'm sure y'all were like, what is this new board, bright and shiny? You probably looked at it. So if you didn't see the board, let me know, but I did add everybody to that board so you guys can track progress made. Okay, you're good, Sarah, all good. All right, jumping into the step-by-step. So we are going to have a couple of things we want you doing. Now, it's going to seem crazy. I promise you it's not going to take time. It's not going to take that much time. So conversation reviews. Sarah already does this when she checks for lead quality at the end of the day. She's going through, she's looking over the conversations, grading the quality of the leads, but now you will also have a review. Each DMer will have a review from Sarah each week. So she's going to look at 3 conversations. From every DMer each week, and then just say, let you know, hey, this was a great conversation. This is a great lead. I love how you did this, or areas of improvement as well. So she's going to give you feedback on both of those things. So every DMer once per week will have a review from Sarah just on 3 of your conversations and see what we did well, where we could improve, and then ideas for that improvement moving forward. She will track that in the log. This is more so for Sarah. You guys don't have to really worry about this. These ones will be very similar to the Closers IO in that they do a self-review where they watch one of their call recordings, they provide feedback about their call and how they performed, and then they have peer reviews where they watch a call recording of another closer and provide feedback and a grading system on that call. This is a bi-weekly process. So 1 week, you guys will provide feedback on your own conversations. Then next week, it will be on somebody that you're assigned to. Questions so far? Cool. Perfect. So how we're going to break this down, self-feedback, very similar to what Sarah's going to be doing. You guys are going to review 3 conversations of your own. Yes, I know that multiple people can be involved in the conversation. I get that 100%. Don't worry about that. It's going to be, conversations that, you kind of shared the bulk of, and you'll know because you message these people on a day-to-day basis. So if you've done most of the bookings, I would write that name down and review that call later or that conversation later. So you guys are going to select 1 closed, 1 limbo, and 1 not closed conversation and say, okay, where could I have improved? What could I have done a little bit differently to add my personality? What went really well? Did I fucking kill this conversation and this person's a 5 out of 5 lead? Because that's very likely too. So we just want 3 conversations. This should probably take you like 5 minutes to read through a couple of conversations and provide some feedback. This is not going to be a huge thing that you have to spend a ton of time on. I'll go over how we're going to give feedback here in just a second. Then the opposite week, you will do the exact same thing for somebody else. So you'll be assigned a person every other week. It'll be random, just like it is for the closers. And then you guys are going to review one of their closed calls, limbo calls, and not closed calls. Because I know it's going to be asked if they don't have a call closed for that week, because sometimes it happens, right, where we don't have a closing call yet for that week. You can either review a conversation that has closed in the past recently, or you can pick something else from another limbo, or a not closed section. Totally fine. Alrighty. And then you guys will do the exact same thing. What did we learn? Areas of improvement, areas of success. And we'll go over that again in a second. Questions so far on these? Are we on board for this so far? These should take like 5-10 minutes. This is not going to be crazy, I promise you. Call shadowing. Now, this will be one that maybe takes a little bit longer of a time frame. One time per month, just once per month. Every DMer is going to shadow another DMer in an account that they either want continued training in or want improvement on. Can be anything. Could be a new account, could be an account that you don't really spend a lot of time with just to kind of see how it goes. Could be the IGs because somebody's super fast and we're not as fast and we want to, kind of shadow that. You are not going to shadow their entire shift. You are only going to shadow for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. It does not have to be anything crazy. You are not shadowing a whole 7-hour shift. That is not what we're doing. But we do want to kind of pick a time or an account that you want more practice in, or want to just kind of see how someone else does things. If we're like, dang, Aubrey like kills it in VSL and I hate VSL. How does she do that? Pop in and see how she, messages those people or, calls those people. So you guys can kind of set that up. I would say this does not, we're going to have flexibility here. It does not have to be booked at the start of the month for, 3 weeks from now. But just as you are getting closer to the end of each month, just know, okay, have I gotten on a call shadow this month yet or not? And make sure you get that booked. We'll have a place where you can log that. And I'll show you that in a second. And then finally, well, not finally, 2 more. Once per month, you will watch a call recording of a call that you booked that a closer either closed or didn't close. Once per month. Watch it at 2x speed. It's going to take you 25 to 30 minutes to get through the call. Easy peasy. One time per month. And then the only thing that we need here is just a little rundown of what did you learn from that call? Question number 1, who did you review? Who was their closer? Question 2, what were your key takeaways from the call review? Were there any objections on the call that we could have maybe found in the DMs that we didn't find, or any other ways that we could have handled that or asked a different qualifying question? And then any feedback to the closer. Politely, of course. I will, if you have good, if you have feedback for them, I'll relay that to them as well. But this is more so for you to see, all right, I booked this person. I thought they were a fantastic lead. They didn't close. What happened? Just to kind of bridge that gap of what do we see in the conversations and what do we see on the calls? Also, that will help you with objection handling because you're going to see how the closers have to, battle at the end of some of these calls to get some closes. So 1 time per month call recording, 1 time per month shadow. Last one. 1 time per month, one-on-one session. This is a 30-minute session. If you guys want more, let us know, but I just figured this would be good to start. We do weekly. All of the closers have to meet with me every single week. So they have to meet with me weekly for a one-on-one, and it's usually 60 minutes. So 30 to 60 minutes, they have to meet with me to go over like objection handling, role play, procedure change. So 1 time per month, y'all will meet with Sarah for a 30-minute training. This can be about anything you want. This can be, I really struggle with this objection. I am really slow in this account. I don't understand this new procedure. Why are we doing this? Anything that you guys are struggling on or want to talk about or, practice, that's going to be what this session is for. This will be part of Sarah's end of month. So at the end of the month, she'll kind of reach out to everybody and get this booked. Doesn't mean you all have to book it the same week. Probably please don't. Spread them out and give yourself some space. But 1 time per month, 30-minute session with Sarah to just go over anything you want more practice on, objection handling. The reason we're doing this is because every single one of you learns differently. Every single person learns a little bit differently, responds differently to different things. The closers, for example, Jeremy loves role play. Like he needs one-on-one role play because admittedly, and you guys know that in the breakouts, we don't have a lot of time, right? Most of the time, everybody gets 1 shot. They get 1 role play and that's it, and that's hard each week to only get a little bit of time. So Jeremy loves the role play. He loves to practice that. Drew is a really, him and I don't really role play that much, but he kind of talks me through his process and he needs to see the bigger picture of how things could work differently on the call. So everyone's a little bit different in how they learn. And I want you guys to have time alone to grow from that. So 30-minute session, nothing crazy. Now the last 2 are more so for Sarah and myself, but just to put on y'all's radar. You all have IDPs, except for Casey, because she's still within her 90 days, but everybody has IDPs. The lead DMer, which is Sarah, is going to send out just a end of the week kind of message every other week, like, hey, how's this going? Is this still a goal we're working on? Are there any challenges here? So just kind of touch points for this. I do this with the closers too. Every other week, we kind of talk about their IDPs, their goals. How do you feel like we're making progress? Is there anything you need help on? Just dialogue, right? There's no meeting that needs to be involved here, but just open dialogue for this conversation. And then last, just kind of having a set cadence for training. Now, Obviously things come up like this where we have to train on different things, and we might interrupt our Wednesday flow, but essentially we just want to have kind of like a steady cadence for role play, objection handling, projections, things like that. So questions for me so far? Cool, beautiful. I will drop this to y'all, but you guys will have the SOP on how to make edits to everything. But I'm going to kind of go through and show you what that board looks like so you guys know. Here we go. There we go. So you guys all have access to this board. Nope. Sarah has access to this board. This is her log for the conversation she's reviewed from you. Where are we at? Right. Training board. There we go. Sheesh. Get it together, Jessica. Here we are. Alrighty. Training log. So the DMR training log, this is going to stay up monthly. We will refresh these weekly. So essentially, this will get updated by myself or Sarah on the weekend. And we're going to say, all right, this week is a self-review week. If it's a self-review week, you know that you guys are going to be monitoring your own calls or reviewing your own calls. There will not be anybody here in the assigned column if it's a self-review week, because you are assigned to yourself. Does that make sense? You're assigned to yourself. If it's peer review, you'll also have the assigned name. So it's peer review week. Alyssa is going to, monitor a Casey call or a Casey conversation. Aubrey is going to look at Sarah's conversations, yada, yada. So you guys will have an assignment here. So you'll be able to see who you're assigned to for the week as far as conversations go, if it's a peer review. Does this make sense so far? Beautiful. So if it's self-review, you're looking at your own conversations. If it's peer review, you will also have the name of the person who we want you to review conversations for. The status is just going to be, are you done? Have we done this yet? Are we working on it? So as soon as you get that done for the week, you can do it on Monday and be done, right? This is just going to be due end of day on Friday per usual. But if you're working on it, put working on it. Oops. If you're done, put done. This is just the status to reflect, I did this. I already turned this in. So far, so good. Cool. Now, when you guys do your review feedback, and I'll go over in a second what the expectation is on that, you are going to send your feedback to Sarah. You're not going to send it to the person that you're reviewing. Reason for that is we just want to make sure we're not going off the rails here. No one's saying anything crazy. We're not being mean. We're not being rude. So send your feedback to Sarah. Once she says, looks good, send it. You can just forward it to your person. You don't have to retype anything out. You don't have to re-voice memo anything. You can just forward those messages to your person. But first, they're going to go to Sarah. I have to do this with the closers because they can get a little crazy. So we just want to make sure we're all being nice. So forward your feedback to Sarah. She will approve. So she'll let you know, yes, she approved it. No, for whatever reason. And then she'll send you feedback of like, love this, but maybe we could add more detail on X, Y, and Z. Or didn't really like the way that we worded this. This may come across this way. So she will give you feedback. If she doesn't approve of the feedback that's being sent, we can tweak it and then forward it. Makes sense here. Beautiful. So super simple. This first half of the board, like these 4 columns, will be wiped out weekly because every other week there'll be a new focus. These 3 will be done monthly. So let's say Aubrey, I'm going to use it as an example since you're here. Monthly shadow. If you haven't done anything with this, just leave it blank. But if you're like, okay, I got my monthly shadow scheduled, you're going to say scheduled. Actually, let's use Alyssa since I already put that in here. All right, this is scheduled. Great. And you're going to go into your bubble and you're going to say, scheduled with Alyssa for 7:30 at 3 p.m. Cool. Or shadowing Jillian in VSL on 7/23. So if you've scheduled your shadow, just put who you're shadowing and on what date. Easy peasy. Who you're shadowing and then what day we're shadowing that person. Super simple. And then Sarah, when you book your monthly one-on-one with everybody, will come in here and put scheduled. And then you'll make a note that says scheduled with Alyssa 7:30 at 3 p.m. So Sarah, you'll go in once everybody's scheduled and say, all right, we are scheduled on this day, this time. DMers, the only thing you have to do is update your monthly shadow. Is it scheduled? Put it in the bubble for what day and time. And then once you're done, put done. And then we can kind of track throughout the month who's done it, who's not. And we just kind of keep a close eye on that. And then same thing, Sarah, for you, is it scheduled? And then did you guys complete that? Questions? Cool. Beautiful.
With the peer schedule or the peer shadowing, it'll probably be like you have the whole month to do it, but with the schedule going out differently every single week. Pick a week that you know is going to be more open and then go with that, because it's going to be hard to say I'm scheduling or I'm going to shadow Jillian in NLCA on this day because she might not be working on that day.
Yeah, you guys don't have to set this up first of the month. Just kind of know, all right, I think I want to shadow in VSL because I'm never really in there and I don't really understand it. I'm not very comfortable. And just kind of see as people put themselves on the schedules where that fits. And then you can say, hey, all right, that's a perfect day for me to shadow this person. I'm going to put that on the tracker. So just keep an eye on this one. This one is obviously not going to be something that we can book too far ahead because our schedule changes weekly. And then the last thing you guys will have to do is once you watch a call recording, just put the name of the person here. So I watched Bob Smith. Call recording. Cool. Beautiful. Simple enough. And then that lets us know, all right, sweet. They shadowed this person or they recorded that call. Fantastic. Questions here. Super simple. We will update the week focus. We will update the assigned. You just have to put, once you're done with your self-review or your peer review, that peer review and self-review will go to Sarah. She'll approve it. You can forward it, or she'll just say, yep, great, great peer review or self-review for yourself. Sarah will mark if she's approved your feedback. You guys will just put when you've scheduled your monthly shadow, when you've scheduled your monthly one-on-one, that'll be Sarah. And then the name of the person that you reviewed from a call recording. These are super simple. I know you're like, oh, call recording, man. Play them at 2x speed. Or if you're watching Jeremy's call, 1.5. Jeremy talks really fast, so you might not be able to do 2x speed, but 1.5. And then just put the name of the person that you shadowed or you peered, or Jesus Christ, the recording that you reviewed. Sorry, I'm not caffeine today, no caffeine. So, all right, let's go back into here and then just go over the expectations. Let me just make sure everyone can see this. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to drop these SOPs in here, but essentially we have kind of like our ideal conversations. Now, these are very similar to like our ideal clients. We kind of created a red, yellow, and green system. So you are going to rate someone on like this conversation was red, yellow, or green. Green is it was perfect. We did fantastic. Yellow would be we're almost there. There's a couple of areas of improvement. Red would be holy shit, what happened here? I don't know how this person even booked, right? Red would be danger zone. All you're going to have to do is read through the conversation and then decide, is this a poor conversation where we had a lot of areas of improvement? That would be red. Was this a pretty good conversation? We have a couple of areas we could tweak. Yellow. Was this perfect, fantastic, all things well in the world? Green. So you're going to give a rating, green, yellow, or red. And then you're just going to explain a couple of examples of why. Okay. So the examples are going to be further down. How we want to see you give feedback is not, this was good. I liked this conversation. You did a good job. You could have worked on this. Be specific if you can. If you're going to give them, a green, say the DMer did an excellent job. They were creative in the responses, asked the right questions, elaborated where necessary. And if you can give specific examples, give specific examples. So loved how Aubrey used this phrase instead of this phrase, in this specific question. Yellow, the DMer did an average job. Script questions were asked, but there may have been areas where we could have dug deeper, used more personality, or tweaked the conversation. If there are many areas of improvement, this is probably going to be something that Sarah and I take a deeper look at. I think most of our conversations are going to be yellow to green. If we've completely flown off the rails for whatever reason, let us know, and we can kind of come up together on how we would approach that for feedback. 100%. So a good example would be, I looked over Chris Smith in the scheduled section for Sarah. Overall, I grade this a yellow. I saw that Sarah used a correct opener to get clients' attention and asked all the script questions. One thing that could have been an improvement is when Chris said he didn't have money this month to buy anything. That would have been a good place to ask something like, insert example here, yada, yada, yada. One thing I liked was that when she made a joke about not being able to go back in time to get started, when Chris said last year to the how soon question, very personal response. Specific examples are great. So far following? Cool. Not so good example would be, I reviewed a conversation in the limbo section. It was okay. Probably yellow. Definitely not how I would have done the conversation. I did not like how Sarah was writing so much to the client's responses. I like short and sweet responses. Could have gotten a better response to the goals question. Examples. What did you see? What could we have done differently? What specific feedback would you have for Sarah to improve that conversation? We want to kind of not necessarily take personal preference out, but if you have examples of things that have worked for you in the past, share that so that we can all kind of improve together. Cool. Questions here. Very, very simple. Here's the conversation I reviewed. Red, yellow, green. Here's why. Here's what was good. Here's where we could improve. Here's a specific example. Should not take long at all. This is probably like 2 minutes of conversation. Skim, read through. Here's my feedback on this conversation. Next person, next person. This is not going to take you a ton of time. I would say max 10 minutes to get through 3 conversations and provide feedback. Cool. Cool. Easy peasy. Everything will be due when we do self-review or peer review. Those will be due end of day on Fridays. So we'll have this set up on Sunday. So by end of day on Friday, you'll just send your feedback to Sarah. She'll give you, feedback on your feedback. Things to note, and this is going to go for those on the call, not on the call. Don't take feedback personally. This is not a Aubrey really sucks at the financial objection. She never does well. This is not an attack. Feedback and constructive criticism, that's why we have parameters around how to give feedback, are to help everybody improve. I never want anyone to take things personally, never be upset by the feedback. I like when people are like, Jess, this call sucked. I'm like, fuck, all right, sweet. What could I do better? Like, great, awesome. I love that because it means that I have something that I can get better at and then my KPIs should go up. So just kind of take that and then really embody truth first. I want you guys to be honest with your feedback to your people, but I want you to be open to taking feedback if they have good ideas. So, does this all make sense? Cool. Pitch will roll out officially tomorrow. We'll start, tracking the leaderboard tomorrow. The training will start next week. So you guys have time to kind of look through the docs, go through everything, really kind of get comfortable with the board. We'll start that next week. We'll start with self-review, so you guys don't have to worry about that. It'll be simple. You guys can just look through your own conversations and move forward that way. So how are we feeling? Cool.
Yeah, I feel really excited about it. I'm excited to get some constructive criticism from everyone. I think that we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely. The goal is to learn from each other, right? All of us have great strengths and areas of improvement. I hate to say weaknesses, of course, that's my least favorite word, but like everybody's got areas that they can improve on. Everyone has really great strengths. And I think if we can just be a little bit more open with dialogue and communicative together as a team, everybody's going to do better. 150%. I love this. Okay, beautiful. Let me drop the links to all this in the chat. So you guys will have the pitch IO if you'd like it. And then we'll drop over the ideal conversations. And the training IO. Beautiful. Perfect. I'll drop those in the chats too, see if you guys need them. But again, at the end of the day, the weekly stuff, the peer review, self-review, that should take 10 minutes throughout the week. Shadowing somebody for, part of a shift, 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how long you guys want to shadow for. And then a call recording, again, probably 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how long the call is. No, don't have to pick the real long ones. But what I would suggest when it comes to call recordings is watching either a not closed or a closed and kind of alternating between the two. The closed ones are going to be a good kind of view for objection handling, good gauge on call quality. The not closed, kind of the same thing, good gauge on call quality, good gauge on objections, and seeing if there's areas that we maybe could have picked up on in the DMs. And just to kind of reiterate, I want you to watch call recordings of ones that you've set. And so not just like, oh, Joey had this random call. Watch ones of people you've booked. Cool. Beautiful. Any questions? Amazing. How many pitches are we at for today? Just while we're here, do we know? Are either of you working right now?
I did 2 today, but they both booked. They booked from ads, which is really strange that that ads was like on top of it today.
Nope, I'm here for it 100%. Aubrey, quick question specifically for you. You're still good tonight and next week, Wednesday, right, for the call?
Yeah, I reached out to Alex today too. I wanted to make sure that like everything was still set to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to log into an LCA Zoom right after we get done with this because I know it's been needing like a login code from everyone.
Got it. Yeah, Emily didn't tell her anything apparently, so that's good. She was like, is Emily got her call scheduled? I'm like, yeah, we did that last week. We're good. She's like, oh
yeah, she was like, well, I think she got them covered, but I don't know. And I was like, I just want to make sure, like, I'm not gonna get on there and someone else is already going to be on there. I just wanted to double check everywhere.
Yeah. So all is well. Beautiful. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. I would say we'll roll this out officially next week. Anybody who has not been on this call, which is most of the damn team, let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns or feedback. But essentially the purpose of this again is to just give you guys the tools to be more successful at your role, to be more confident in your role, to move faster. The more confidence you have, the faster you're going to move, the more confident you're going to feel handling objections and, taking that initiative and that act first. So this isn't meant to be busy work. This isn't meant to just like, oh, here we go, something else I have to do. We just know it's worked really, really well so far with the closers as far as average closing percent. And if we can do something to help y'all out too, I'm here for it. So let me know if you guys have any questions, but I feel good. Sarah, is there anything else you want to cover? We want to let these guys out a little bit early today.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool. Interview at 12:15 or 12?
12:15, but she's probably going to be ready at 12 if we want to.
12:15 is good.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop in with the closers for the rest of their little powwow if they're still here. And then, yeah, you guys can bop out a little bit early, but you know the drill. Book calls, change lives, make money. Let's make it happen. Cool. All right, y'all. I will see you guys later. Sarah, I'll see you in just a little bit.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
About that, that's what really stands out to me is that vision, like, because it's true, like if they really painted something bleak, I love that you guys do that. If they really painted something bleak, if they don't go forward, then even for me, I don't want to leave you in that place of your other option, right? So let's figure out these numbers. So I wonder if the vision might be a way, as opposed to why are you doing this? It's just food for thought.
Yeah, let's keep going anyway. So Drew's could bring you back to the why of like,
yeah,
it's important that we figure this out. I'd probably go into hey, look, I totally get you feel like you can't afford this, and I feel like this is like a really big stretch, but if we could figure this out, we could get you to making 5,000-10,000 and coaching clients that you love and building an amazing community and really stepping into Tiffany 2.0. Would it be worth it?
Yeah, I could definitely see that it would be worth it. Yeah.
Awesome. So like if we could figure out something that was super affordable on a monthly basis that you felt definitely fit your budget, and that we can obviously guarantee that you get to that point and we can really start to create this, is that something that you'd be open to looking at?
Yeah, I mean, you can show me. Yeah.
Cool. And then that's how you go into the finance option from there. So Drew, just because you haven't heard it before, don't let it shake you. Again, if they're really open up, it's like, cool, look, I get that. Would it be worth it? Is a really nice, easy way to transition into that. So,
sorry, I
Yeah.
fucked up the simulation.
No, you're good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
I think I would have asked her when she said, I don't know if I have time to do this. After she got scared, I'd be like, a thing that I would say, she mentioned cost, I would go into, I think Jess taught me this, maybe is Drew. Are we making a choice based off of, cost or quality? Because if we're going just off of cost, you're going to sacrifice quite a bit of quality, right? Yes, there's a lot of different options out there, but it doesn't have the same type of quality. If we're going to go for quality, we're going to have to pay a slightly higher premium for that. You mentioned that you don't have time. Do you have time not to invest in yourself and continue to stay in the same circumstance that you've been in for 6 to 12 months?
You're thinking of the pyramid, right? Like fast, good, and cheap. If you want it fast and cheap, it's not going to be good. Right?
Yeah.
If it's fast and cheap, it's not going to be a good service or a product. If you want something that's fast and good, it's not going to be cheap, right? Good results, quick results, speed, and quality are not going to be cheap. If you want it cheap and good, it's not going to be fast, right? So that you have to pick what you're willing to invest in. That's that, like, I forget what it's called, but they're that triangle of like need essentially when it comes to that.
The good, fast, cheap triangle.
Good, fast, cheap. If you want good results and you want them fast, it's not gonna be cheap. If you want cheap results, you want them fast, it's not gonna be good. So you have to kind of pick your two out of that triangle for sure.
I've used something similar to that as like more light humor to say, hey, a good tattoo is not cheap and a cheap tattoo is not good. And trust me, I got a lot of fucked up shit on me. Right. So I try to like get them like laughing about that. But I'm like, honestly, the ones that I've actually invested time in, like those are the ones that, I'm showing. Right now I'm wearing a hoodie because I'm fucking embarrassed. Right. I made some bad choices. I don't want you to go down that same route.
It's a good way to bring some humor to it, but it's a good example too. You know, y'all ever driven a hoopty that you paid $500 for when you were like fresh in college, like broke down every other week and you spent more on that car in 3 months than it was worth than you bought it for? Oh, absolutely. Because it was shit. Same thing happens when you pay for lack of quality. 100%. I said hoopty. It just really showed I'm from the fucking Midwest. Y'all never heard that term before. Sheesh.
I think you can compare it as well to overall income, because I've had some people that make like 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, and I'm like, you're making like a 10% bet on your income in order for you to double your income, do what you love, actually be happy and fulfilled. And you know, what's 7,000 over the space of the next 3 to 5 years? If you're making, you know, hundreds of thousands over that time, would it be worth it? I think coming back to Sav, you're right. I actually forgot that Tiff mentioned that she might not need it, but I think it's just a case of she's trying to convince herself she doesn't need it because she felt she couldn't afford it, which is why I focused on her affording it and would it be worth it kind of approach, if that makes sense.
No, totally. I was getting just up to speed of just what the objection was, because it was a new one that Drew said he hadn't heard before. It was like, oh, I don't think I need this. I don't know if I have time, right? So yeah.
You haven't heard that. I get that I've heard that before. Like, I don't really know. I think I could try it by myself first. Like, sure.
No, to Joey's point though, Joey was actually spot on, because she started by saying, you know, she liked it, she wanted it. This is her why was, you know, she had good success. She wanted to help other people. And then it went to the price was too high, so maybe I don't need it. I don't know if it's worth it. Right. It was like, it wasn't I think I can do it on my own. It was like the role reversal of like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. I don't know if I need this. Right. Like that was different. I've had I think I can do this on my own. And then I always go into hey, listen, Chad and I talk about this all the time. Could you figure this stuff out? Yeah. Do you want to take the 7 years to do it like it took him, or do you want to do it and you want to be there in 4 months? Oh, 4 months. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Let's talk about it. Right. But that, like that.
The moment somebody says, this is amazing, I love this, and says, I don't think I need this, it's fear immediately. They're like, oh God, this is expensive. Holy crap. You know, it is immediately a fear response. And I think to Joey, when Joey, you made that point of like, kind of utilizing their salary, for those that are very growth focused, who have that growth human need that you'll identify, they're like, I want to make a bunch of money, I want to, you know, grow. And then they give you those financial objections. You can kind of utilize that and say, all right, in your current field with whatever you're doing, factory work, working as a nurse, you're making $60K a year right now. You want to make $200K. How many years in your current career path is it going to take you to earn that? Or can you even earn that in the current, you know, trajectory of the career path that you're on? So if you don't make a change and you stay a nurse or a factory worker or whoever you are, how long, if ever, is it going to take you to qualify for that type of money? 10 years, 15, 50, never. If you work in a factory, you're never going to make $300,000 a year. I don't know if you're probably not, unless you climb the corporate ladder. You're kind of utilizing that. Like, are you willing to wait 15 years to reach that goal, or risk a 10% on your salary investment right now to get there in 6 months?
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
framing that, like, can you even earn that money?
I think one of Joey's good lines would have been good there when she just started, like, she started reeling out like 3 different objections right after, like, it's too much, I don't have the time, it's not worth it. Joey said before, and I use this a ton now, is like, it seems like we're trying to convince ourselves of the reasons not to do it versus reasons why we should. Do you feel that's a fair assessment? Because she already said she wanted it, and then as soon as the price dropped, it was 3 different things.
And then, like, to follow up with that, Jeremy, I feel like after that, my next thing would be like, pull out a piece of paper, like literally give me 2 columns and like write down the pros and the cons. And I think that would be powerful. Like, and I think, Tiffany, this just really circles back to like that big first question that kind of started our conversation, is like, especially when Drew, like, just paraphrased it out. Like, you said, yes, you wanted it, you loved it. But then it was like, it came down to like, no, the money, it might not be worth it. I still think 100 times you always have to go back to the emotion and the why. And like, maybe it doesn't need to be directly the why, like, but like exactly what Jeremy said, leading into getting them to be able to write out the pros and cons, like, and ask them the bold question. Like, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself not to when you told me you loved it. So let's go deeper here. So I still think always emotion, rather than emotion and why and vision and projecting someone's future, is probably always going to be the answer.
That loop: emotion, logic, ask for the close. Emotion, dig deep on those pain points, pull at the heartstrings, pull at the vision, all the things that they want in their life, make it make sense on paper, re-ask them to shut it down. Easy peasy. Cool, cool. Sweet. Tiffany, how's your 6 p.m. tonight? Are they confirmed?
Scheduled.
Yes, they are. My other one at 1 had confirmed, but then he just moved it to Monday at 2. With the reschedules, I mean, I could follow up and ask him, is it better to just go with the time that they say they can do it, or just keep pushing?
Rusev.
Bye, everyone.
No, I would say, did he say like, hey, I can't do today, but I can do Monday at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, he did. He's originally said 1, but I had a 1 o'clock. I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, he says, hello, I'm sorry, I had something come up with work today. I won't be able to make the noon meeting. Do you have availability next Monday at the same time?
Okay, and then you picked a time and locked it down. I would just, yeah, usually with those, I'm like, sweet, no worries. I definitely understand something came up. We do have a 1 reschedule policy, so I just want to make sure our next time 100% works. I don't have that time, but I have this time. Does that 100% work for you? Yes, great. Let's book it. Can't wait to see you then. I'll send you a resource. But definitely just, I like to just highlight that reschedule policy because like people can start to get a little.
Yeah, make
Push.
sure that it really works. So just
Take advantage of some of those.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
But yeah, if he said that time works 100%, then we should be in a good spot. I would just, since it is a little bit further away, I would just keep in touch between now and then.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy for something to also come up with it being, 5 days away still. So I just be a little bug in his ear for a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you.
Sweet. All right. Any questions, y'all? Obviously, I wasn't here for very much, but how we doing?
Well, just quick side note, guys, as well, because I sent you the email that I normally send as like a follow-up, and the other little snippet. Obviously, I don't send all the slides. I just send a select few of the slides and the guarantees and that type of thing. Just thought I'd let you know. Yeah, sweet. Cool. Any questions? You guys all good? Ready to smash this week or the rest of the week? Good.
Are
All right.
you going to be on that call later? You don't have to. I know it's late.
No, I'll probably be there. I'll try to shout out that one. I should be able to pop on at 6.
Okay.
Central, it's 6 Central, 7 your time.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. All right, sweet. Yes, I'll probably be there.
I almost shot myself since we were talking about Joey's UK text. When I saw 6 p.m. come over, I was like, no, because I have a class right before then. I thought it was 7, but it is 7 Eastern. So I have to make sure I pay attention to that when you send those, Joey.
Yes, always in Central. The time zones will get you in the beginning, but they'll make sense.
You always send in Central, Joey?
Say again.
You always send in Central?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. The updates and the time. Yeah, the time is always in Central. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know then. So I'll just
Yeah, everyone goes by Chad's time, which is central.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good to know. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll have a downsell hopefully wrapped up by the end of the week. Joey, Jeremy, do either of you have interest in a call, or am I good to just rope in Drew and Tiffany?
You just do those guys.
Cool. Joey, same?
What, sorry, and interest in what? Sorry.
The group call for the downsell option. I want 2 calls ran by closers, 2 calls ran by coaches.
Potentially, depending when it is.
Well, that's what we're coming up with. We're figuring out the day and time. We're coming up with that. I would like coaches to be at least the same time. So Jackie and Emily pick Wednesday at 6 p.m. So at least for the first 2 weeks of the month at the exact same time, and then closers we have the same time. Does not have to be an evening time. Could be a weekend, could be a lunch hour. Doesn't matter to me. But if you guys are open or want to, let me know. I'll put us all in a chat this afternoon.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. All right, y'all. See you later. Let's
Cool.
crush it.
So you did need us to stay. You're just going to do the chat.
To stay.
You were saying, I thought you were saying at one point you wanted us to stay on so you could talk to us about the meeting, but you're
Oh, no. Yeah, I'll create a WhatsApp chat with the coaches.
Okay.
That way we can talk about days, times. Oh, yeah. No, you're good to go.
Perfect. All right. Thanks again.
I'll see you in a little while.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Thanks.